Hey guys, welcome back to New Music Tuesday, and here's my stupid hair that's in my face. I can never get that piece of hair to lay down, ever. And now, this is not starting off well. But anyway, today on New Music Tuesday, I would like to talk about, it's finally here. Our girls, Little Mix, their debut album, at least debut in the US, DNA, is finally out. It's finally here. Thank goodness. I have been following Lil Mix since they won UK's X Factor, and I've been wanting to hear their full album to get a full understanding of who they are as artists. So I'm so excited to bring you my thoughts and opinions. Okay, so a little bit of history about Lil Mix. They're the winners of the UK's X Factor. They won back in 2011, and they are the first group to win the X Factor in all of its 8 years, its 8-year tenure, which is pretty cool. So thumbs up for that. The members are as follows: Perry Edwards, Jessie Nelson, Leanne Pinnock, and then Jade Thrillwall. And then their album DNA debuted in the UK and in Ireland at number 3 on the charts, which is great. So that's pretty much the gist of who they are. They are kind of like a female version of One Direction, only cooler and more stylish, you know, more urban. So their album debuted today, and I think today is what? May 28th. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and so I'm getting all my dates and everything mixed up. Today feels like a Monday. So finally debuted. A little bit about the album. Little Mix actually co-wrote about 8 to 10 of their songs, and I'm including the deluxe edition songs. So that's pretty cool. You guys know how I feel about artists who co-write or write their songs. But the fun thing about this album is it includes other well-known songwriters such as Esther Dean, T-Boss from TLC, Priscilla Renee, who I haven't heard from in years. Maybe she's just been behind the scenes, but that's cool. And then other, I'm sure, prominent UK songwriters as well. And then there is a standard edition of the album, which I think is 12 tracks. And then there's a deluxe edition, as I mentioned, which is about 16 tracks, if I remember. My favorite songs on the album, hands down, are Change Your Life, Turn Your Face, We Are Who We Are, and then Red Planet. Change Your Life is a really cool song. It starts almost like starts off kind of rap spoken, and then it escalates into just powerhouse vocals from Perry. Perry, oh my gosh, Perry is amazing. Her voice, girl cannot dance. She can a little bit, but her voice is amazing. Oh my gosh. And then the song Turn Your Face is a ballad that Perry dominates as well. She made that song for me. She is the reason why I love that song so much. The notes that she hits and the feeling she brings to those two songs, oh, amazing. I love the other 3 girls, I really, really do, but Perry has such a distinct voice, and she draws you in with her voice that I am solely there for her most of the time. I can typically tell when Jessie is singing too, but for the most part, Perry, I was there with her the entire album. Red Planet is a song that features T-Boz, which is interesting. I like it. I like it. It's very different, very catchy. T-Boz is the one that wrote that. She co-wrote that song with them, or maybe not with them, but she co-wrote that song, and she's featured in it. It's nice to hear her voice again, so I loved that featured artist. They only had her as a featured artist on the album, which is funny. I will speak on How You Doing, feature Missy Elliott, in a second, which is not on this album. Well, at least the Missy Elliott version isn't. My least favorite track on the album is called Love Drunk. That one just sounded a little too disorganized and too chaotic for me. I couldn't really follow it. I don't know if maybe I have to listen to it again, but I just wasn't, that one didn't really grab me as all the other songs did. There was no real groove I had to that song. I was just kind of the whole time. But you know, every album has one dud. That is a total lie. There are some albums that have complete diamonds all the way through. But this one track, just didn't do it for me. All the rest of the tracks I really, really do enjoy. They're very, very good, but those are my 4 favorites. As for their US reception, now there's been this speak about whether or not they would get the same love that One Direction got when One Direction got over here. I don't think they'll get the same love, but I think they'll get a really good, you know, reception from us. I think they already have. The US male population, I think, would have a good time with Little Mix. I really, really do. And the women will as well, because they're fashionable, they're very, very trendy, and their style in terms of music is all just very, very drawing. It draws you in. So I think they'll get some love from both the men because they're very attractive, and the women because they're very stylish. And like I said, their edginess and their sound, I think, will be very well received overall. And it should be, and it'll be a huge mistake if it's not, because the US music scene sometimes has a tendency to be a little stale. And I kind of think we're in that stale moment right now. And I speak with my hands a lot. So I think there'll be a breath of fresh air. Yeah. To the US music scene. So come on in, Little Mix. We need you. Couple of question marks. Just a couple of things. I think they should have had Missy Elliott on How You Doing on this version of their album. I really do. It's on their UK single. Like, they released the single in the UK with Missy Elliott, but they didn't have her on the US album, which is weird considering she's a US artist. I don't know. Maybe there's a reasoning behind that, but I think there would have been a greater push maybe if Missy was on the album, because she still has a pretty legit fan base. They had T-Boz, which is great. And I love T-Boz. I'm so glad that she was on that song. But maybe someone more current would have been a better move, or they could have T-Boz and someone else more current. You know, that's just me. I love the album, like I said, not bashing it at all. The decisions are great decisions, but I always like to say what I would like to have heard, or what I would have liked. What I would have, oh my gosh, I can't speak. What I would have wanted to see on their album, or hear on their album. Vocally, sometimes I feel like Jessie does a little too much. Like, she does too many vocal runs, or vocal runs in places that don't need to be there. And then sometimes I feel like Leanne doesn't do enough with her voice. She reminds me of Rihanna when Rihanna was starting out. Rihanna was very timid. Come, mystery, put some on the replay. Come, Mr. DJ, want to turn the music up. You know, she was very... Leanne is not as stale as Rihanna was when she first came out, but I feel like she needs to give me a little bit more. I feel like I need more from her. She has me right on that precipice of really just loving her, but she hasn't done it yet. Like, I'm there, I'm reaching, but I'm not quite there. But that all comes, her and Jessie, that all comes with experience and practice and time and growth, development, all that. On Wikipedia, they're classified as pop, R&B, and hip hop. I disagree with 2 of those 3 genres. Definitely pop. They're definitely pop music. R&B, what classifies them as R&B? I don't think there's anything on that album that really classifies them as having that R&B sound really dominantly for them to have that. Sometimes they may dabble in it for like a quick second, but they're not R&B artists. And they're definitely not hip-hop artists. I know either Leanne or Jessie or one of them does some hip-hop and does some rap on the album, but it's not enough to classify it as hip-hop. I think maybe they were doing that because Missy Elliott was associated with one of the songs and T-Boz was associated with one of the songs. I guess Missy Elliott and T-Boz would bring the R&B and the hip-hop, but they're only featured on one song each, so the whole album is mainly pop. Little Mix is basically a pop group with an urban spin to it. That's my classification of what they are. I'd actually sooner classify Jessie J as R&B or hip hop before I classified Little Mix as either one of those. And that is not an insult to them. I'm just saying, based on their sound, I'm not hearing it. Overall, I am very excited about this album. I am so happy that it's out. What is going on with this hair? I have listened to it about 3 or 4 times already since it's dropped. And like I said, I absolutely love it. I think it'll be well received if it's promoted properly. I need to see them more. One Direction didn't have to promote as much, but I feel like Lil Mix is gonna need that extra push. I really do feel like that. I need to see them more. I need to see them promoting this. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't even know this album dropped today. I found out about it by accident. I just happened to look on my Facebook page, and I liked Little Mix's Facebook page, and so it just happened to be one of the first things that was on there. Like, oh, our album dropped today, and I'm like, what? How did I miss that? I was able to get it, and so I got it, listened to it, it's great, but I think that they need to do some heavy pushing for this album. Like, people like me and, you know, Directioners and, you know, people who follow Jessie J and just British artists and stuff like that will most likely already be familiar with who Lil Mix is and what their sound is. So that's not going to be the problem. The problem is going to be introducing them to the rest of America, to the rest of, you know, the different demographics and whatnot. Because I think Lil Mix, because they're a little edgier and because they're more stylish and because they kind of push the envelope in their sound and in their fashion choices, they need to be introduced to people who aren't necessarily familiar with things like that or aren't 100% in the know about them. So it'll be interesting to see how they're marketed and how they're promoted. But overall, like I said, I love the album. I'm so glad that it's out. What do you guys think? Leave comments down below letting me know what you think of the album, what your favorite tracks are, what your least favorite tracks are. If you want to add to anything I've said, if you disagree with anything that I've said, just let's talk it out below. Thumbs up this video if you're as excited as I am that Little Mix's album is finally here in the US. If you love Little Mix, if you've been following them since X Factor, if you're having a great day, just like the video and then subscribe on this side or this side. I don't know what side it's on. For more New Music Tuesdays and just more videos from me in general. We are under tornado watch right now, so I'm trying to get through with this as fast as I can and edit it and get it up. So hopefully it will be up soon. I will see you guys next week for more New Music Tuesday. I hope you have a great week and I hope you had a great Memorial Day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.